Have you noticed that people love having boring conversations? Or at least it seems that way because everybody does this and I don't know why. It only takes one thing to turn a boring conversation into an engaging one. It's really simple and I'm going to explain it in this video. Say you just met someone new. You're making awkward small talk and they say something really boring like, I'm a tax accountant, as an example. Not saying tax accountants are boring, just an example. How would you respond? You'd probably say, oh cool, and follow that with some more small talk, and then get yourself stuck on a topic that, let's be honest, you don't really want to talk about, right? Something like, what do you do as a tax accountant? Oh, just a lot of looking over receipts and making spreadsheets. So you must be pretty good with Excel. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty good at it. I did a course on it last week actually. Nice, I can use Excel a bit, but I don't really use it that often. Captivating stuff. Do you know why this conversation is boring as f***? It's because you're pretending to be interested. When we're talking to someone and we run out of small talk, what most people do is dig into details that they don't care about. We ask questions that we don't really want answers to. But the goal of a conversation shouldn't just be to fill silence. The goal should be to connect with the other person. Because if all you're doing is trying to fill silence without being genuinely interested in what you're talking about, you're going to make it awkward and boring. Now, of course, there are going to be times when we're just genuinely not interested in something that someone says, right? So what do we do when we stop pretending to be interested? What do we say instead? If we bring back Mr. Taxman from the example before, what could we say to him that is not boring, that's genuinely interesting for me? We could say, you know what? I don't personally think I could do numbers all day, but I've heard people say that they love accounting, and I'm really curious to know what it is they love about it. Like, what am I missing? Can you feel the difference between that conversation and the one before? It sounds like I'm genuinely interested now because I am. I'm not pretending. Now, what if you're having lunch with a coworker and she tells you that it takes her an hour on the train to get to work every morning? You don't know what to say, right? It's kind of a boring topic. So after you say the obvious stuff like, damn, it only takes me 20 minutes by car, or where are you coming from? You run out of things to say. It gets awkward and you want to get out of there. But what if you said something like this? What do you do with all that time on the train? Because whenever I'm traveling, I always try to learn something, like from a book or from an audiobook. See how that completely changes the vibe of the conversation. Another example. Say you're on your first date with a cute girl or guy, and they tell you that they have a dog named Barney. You say the stuff that comes easily, right? Like the boring stuff, like, oh, what kind of a dog is it? Or does it know any tricks? But you don't know how to genuinely connect with them on that topic. So what if you said something like this? You know, I looked after my friend's dog a few times, and it was always really needy and whiny and wouldn't leave me alone. I don't know if I'd have the patience to own a dog myself, so what's it like when you have your own? Can you feel the difference? Alright, last example. A stranger at the gym tells you that he wakes up at 6 a.m. every morning to go for a run. You reply with the obvious small talk like, oh, how long do you run for? Or where do you run? And then you get stuck. What if you said something like this? I've tried building both of those habits, running and waking up early, but I can never seem to keep it up for more than a few days. Do you get to a point where you actually start to enjoy it, or what's the secret? So, the key to having genuinely interesting conversation is to stop pretending to be interested. Hey guys, Pete here. I hope that was useful. So the thing is, confidence and conversation are just like any of the skills that you learned in school. They feel like this huge thing that you just don't know how to do, but they can actually be broken down and explained piece by piece. I used to think that not knowing what to say to people was this deep flaw that I had that was just part of who I was, but it turned out that it was just a set of skills that I hadn't learned yet. I broke it down to 35 skills total. It wasn't 5, it wasn't 10, it is harder than that, but it is literally just 35 techniques that when you learn, you can talk to anyone. So if you want a full breakdown of those techniques that I use to make conversations more interesting and engaging and to connect with people, go to beardstrokings.com/learn, or if there's a form below, put your email in and I'll send them to you.